If you ever get caught using your phone while driving in Norway, be sure to get your wallet ready, because it's going to cost a lot of money. Let's say that you get caught using your phone. Then you're going to receive a fine for $765. $765. Let that sink in. On top of that, you'll receive 3 marks on your driver's license, but if it's less than 2 years since you got your license, you would get a total of 6 marks. And if you get a total of 8 marks within a 3-year period, you lose your license and your permission to drive for 6 whole months. It's no doubt that it's a pretty hefty punishment if you were to get caught using your phone behind the wheel. Fortunately for me, this was just an empty phone case. We know that it's strictly punished and illegal to use your phone while holding it in one of your hands while driving, but there is one exception. It is actually legal to use your phone to call somebody while driving if it's securely mounted to the car. As a result, a lot of people end up buying these types of stands for their phones to solve the problem, instead of holding it with their hands and potentially risking getting a huge fine for it. In theory, these phone stands solves the problem of not needing to hold your phone, and instead it keeps it in place for you. But by my experience, these phone stands are usually made of cheap materials such as plastic, which easily breaks. So therefore I find it a little weird that they're so expensive, considering that it's just a piece of plastic holding your phone. On top of that, they are often mounted to the air vents, to the car air vents, which often cause them to be pretty unstable while driving. Since I own a 3D printer, I know that plastic is extremely cheap and easy to make stuff out of. Therefore, I was thinking that I could try to make one of these phone stands and see if I am able to overcome some of the issues that I've experienced with normal phone stands that I've bought at the store. I'm going to attempt to design and print my own phone stand in order to see if it's actually worth the price tag or not. And hopefully it ends up being a lot cheaper and less shaky while driving. But I guess we'll find out. First of all, we're going to have to design how the phone stand should function and what it should look like. So let's jump into Fusion 360. In order to make a proper stand, we're going to have some type of clamp that holds the phone on one end and a way to mount the stand to the car on the other end. So let's start designing. This phone stand is going to be custom to my phone, so it's only going to fit that phone and it's not going to be a universal phone stand. And I'm hoping that this allows the phone stand to be a little better than most other phone stands. This is what I ended up with. It's pretty much a big piece of plastic holding the phone in place. Now that we have finally finished designing our phone stand, it's time to print it out with the 3D printer. Something like this is probably going to do the job. There is one major problem with this one. That is that it's impossible to charge with it. So the easiest way to fix that is to just... And now we have space for the charging cable. Now that the holder itself is finished printing, we need to find a place to mount it. And most phone stands is usually mounted in these air vents, which makes them a little floppy and unstable since you can move the vents up and down. So instead of mounting it in this area right here, I was more thinking of mounting it over here, possibly in this plastic cover. But I can't mount it up here, so I'm going to have to make a bracket that mounts to this cover and then sticks out a bit and then goes down, making it possible for me to mount this holder to the bracket, making it sit somewhere around here. I'm not sure if this is, the most practical place to mount your phone, but the fact that it's going to be a lot more stable because of this plastic cover, I think it's going to be worth it. Because over here I really don't have anything to mount the holder to other than the air vents, and I really don't want to do that. So let's go inside and make a bracket and see how it ends up. The bracket is now finished printing, so what remains is to assemble the two pieces together and then find a suiting place to mount it in the car and then see if it works. Here we have the finished stand. The only thing remaining is to screw it into place. Like that. Now that you've seen the final product in action, I have to say that I'm a bit surprised by how well it actually worked. It was able to fully hold up the phone without any problems. And because of the design, you can easily remove or insert the phone from the stand. And because of the change I made, you can also charge your phone, which is it's nice to be able to do that. On top of that, one of the benefits of having a 3D printed phone stand is that you can print it in whatever color you like. And personally, I wasn't really a big fan of the gray color I used in the one that I just showed you, so I'm probably going to print another one in black filament instead. I have to admit though that the stand isn't really the most aesthetically pleasing thing to look at. And compared to other phone stands, it's a lot bigger and chunkier. And I ended up designing it this way because I was a little skeptical if the design was going to hold up or if it was just going to break instantly when I put the phone on. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to break, but it's very big and it takes up a lot of space, so yeah, it's not really nice looking. Let's be honest, it's not really necessary to make your own custom 3D printed phone stand. It's just something that I wanted to try out. If you're just after a normal, typical phone stand, you'll be much better off just buying one from the store. You might not save money doing it this way, but you'll save a lot of time and it's going to be equally as good as the one I've custom made here, or even better in some aspects. So yeah, if you're just after a typical phone stand, you'll be much better off just buying one of those. But I wanted to challenge my creativity and see if I was able to make something functional, and as well as it was a fun project. And I'm looking forward to the next project, and thank you for watching this video.